You really always have to cruise in a balcony. I hear people say it. I can only cruise in a balcony. I always have to cruise in a balcony. Well, guess what? Balconies are more expensive. So in today's episode of the Lido Loca Cruise Show, we're going to ask the question, cruise balconies, is it worth it? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lido Loca Cruise Show. I'm your host, Tony. If you enjoy cruising, please consider subscribing to the show with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. Well, let's talk about cruise cabins. Let's talk about cruise balconies. A lot of people like them. A lot of people don't like them. I did a survey today at the Lido Loca Cruising community on Facebook. I asked people, which cruise cabin type have you cruised in the most? Now, the problem with my poll is I don't know that everybody answered which cruise cabin they've cruised in the most, or whether they just saw the poll and saw the options and chose which cruise cabin they liked the best. So let's say this might not be the most scientific study, but these are the results of that survey. I feel like I'm on the Family Feud. Survey says, let me throw it up. At the time of the recording, 830 respondents, and overwhelmingly, the respondents said that they would cruise with a balcony. This is what they want. Cabin with no outside light, kind of an interior. That was second place. And then third place is an ocean view, cruise with a window. I kind of felt like that could have been the way that it went, but hopefully that's people who've cruised that cabin type the most. I think everybody wants to cruise in a balcony. I did make a little bit of a pros and cons list that I thought I would share with you. These are my pros and cons list. I'm sure you have your own, but one of the pros of cruising with a balcony that I've noticed is that the cabin is normally larger. It seems like the cabins they build that have that little extension outside the cruise ship, they seem to put a little more room in the cabin itself. I'm not even counting the balcony space. Every cabin that I've been in that has a balcony has also had a couch. Conversely, I've been in several interior rooms and I can think of only one that's had a couch. And so in my mind, the balcony seems to be bigger than the interior cabin. Number two, and I know people dig this part of it, balconies have natural light. This is true also for ocean view rooms, but balconies, one of the appeals is the natural light. People sometimes get freaked out if they're somewhere where there is no window. This tends to challenge people that are a little bit claustrophobic, people that are afraid they're going to sleep the day away because they don't have a window. The balcony, a pro of the balcony is natural light. Number three on my pro list, and I know it's not going to be true for everybody, but you get to be outside without having to be around people. Again, I like hanging out with people. I like getting to know people, but there's a part of me that really likes being alone. And it's fun to be on the cruise ship where you can get some alone time. But sometimes there's people all over the cruise ship. The balcony, the appeal for me of the balcony is that I can get some alone time without having to be around other people. And then I guess selfishly, as somebody that makes cruising content, I like balconies because it becomes a filming studio for me. If I want to film the sail away, or if I want to film the sea, or whatever, I got that whole rail all to myself where I can put my tripods, or I can set a tripod up out on the balcony, and I don't have to worry about anybody knocking it over. I know that's not true for everybody, but that is an appeal for the balcony for me. Now, on the balcony con side, I think the number one con for the balcony is the price. I know that as somebody who likes to cruise multiple times a year, that I can cruise multiple times in an interior for a lot cheaper than I can cruise multiple times in a balcony. Overall, interior cabins, smaller, no light, no balcony, cost less. And so if the goal is to be a frequent cruiser on a limited budget, like who's got all the money in the world, then you got to make that decision sometimes to go to an interior cabin opposed to a balcony. And look, yeah, I'm not even talking about the ocean views. I don't want to make the ocean view people mad, but to me, ocean view is a throwaway. You either get the balcony or you get the interior cabin. Just having a window, it doesn't do it for me. I might be alone in that opinion, but I think it's balcony or interior. So that's where I'm leaving the conversation. My number two con for a balcony is you can't always use it. You can use it a lot, but you can't always use it. I was on a cruise in Japan and we went through a typhoon, and guess where I could not go during the typhoon? out on the balcony. Of course, you're saying, well, why would you want to go out on the balcony during a typhoon? You wouldn't, but I'm just trying to make the point that you can't always use your balcony. In a less dramatic example, we know some people that had an aft balcony, and whatever side of the ship it was on, it always seemed to be in the sunlight, and wherever they were at in the Caribbean, it was too hot to go sit out on the balcony. There was no shade, it wasn't covered, and going out on the balcony during the day was almost like baking a chicken. You were almost like a rotisserie out there on your balcony, and so yeah, it didn't have use for a big portion of the cruise. So kind of a waste of money. And the big complaint that I hear about balconies, I don't know if I buy it or not, but people say, why would I want a balcony? I'm never in my cruise cabin anyways. I'm only in my cruise cabin to go to sleep and to change clothes. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration for argument's sake. It sounds good, right? But I will give you this. The majority of the time, you may not be in your cruise cabin unless you're somebody that just likes to spend time in your cruise cabin. But you're going to do a little more than change clothes and sleep in your cruise cabin, I think. And look, I'm 100% ready to be wrong on that, but there's days where I don't really want to be in my cruise cabin, and I am in my cruise cabin for more than just changing clothes and sleeping. There are times where I'm 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, waiting to do the next thing. What about when you go to the cruise cabin to go to the bathroom? Nobody included that. I guess nobody wants to put that in their argument. I don't know. So that's a popular con, though. People will say it, I'm never in the cabin. Why would I pay for a balcony? I know it's just an exaggeration. Why would I pay for a balcony? All right, let me break it down. Let me give you my commentary. Let me give you my take on it. So many of these things in the cruise life are subjective. I do believe that this is one of those things. Let me break it down for me. If I had unlimited money, I would always book the balcony. I think the balcony is a better cabin because it is bigger, because you have natural light, and whether or not you can use the balcony during the whole cruise or not, the times that you can use it, it can be fantastic. For me, the big reason I don't always book a balcony is cost. So I'm not going to say that's true for everybody. Blanket statements and generalizations, they don't work. But I will say that for most, it is the cost that keeps people from choosing the balcony. Okay, so what do you think? Is it balcony or bust? Or would you rather be on more cruises you can suffer through an interior? Or what do you think? Do people not choose the balcony primarily because cost? Some interesting conversation points there. Thanks so much for stopping by. This is Tony with the Lido Loca Cruise Show. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Unless I'm on my balcony doing a time lapse or something. Then I'm by myself.